That hurt.
Marseille's appreciation for Gio Reyna is still there, but it's still not a concrete negotiation club to club. This will probably be one for the final weeks of the window to look at some opportunities, so it's not something real close now. Also, because Borussia Dortmund have different priorities to sort. If Dortmund sells Reyna to Marseille at a discount, it will be the most egregious loss of money they have ever taken for a kid that was once at 40 mil market value. They're going to probably take like 8 or 9 or 10 million for this kid. They're going to lose $30 million. It would be the dumbest things they could do. The smartest thing they could do is keep Reyna around and play him next fucking season and rebuild his market value. That's the bottom line.
So
that's why Terzic got fired, by the way, for not playing the young players and all of their market values going into the shitter.
Well,
that's why he got fired.
He
got canned.
Just recently, a number of their young players have been wanting out or transferring out recently. So
it's the opposite of the whole framework of how Dortmund operated for years. Bring them in young, make them great, sell them for shits of money. That's how Dortmund operates traditionally. The Terzic thing was a complete 360. And why was he surprised he was not wanted anymore? I don't know why he was surprised, but he expressed some amount of being surprised that he wasn't wanted back. But the main thing from the board, and this was clear in earlier reports in Bild and whatever magazine it was in German, the board was pissed at Terzic for destroying the value of the young players they had brought in and built up. And one of those young players they were not happy about, outside of the others, was Gio Reyna. So they brought in a younger coach who knows Gio well, who was there when Gio was going through the youth program there. And you would think that means that guy would know Gio and maybe be more invested in him. We shall see. But boy, what a horrible, horrible, horrible investment the way they have cocked up this whole thing at Dortmund with Terzic and their young players is it's ridiculous.
So the fact that Fabrizio says that this will be one for the final weeks of the window, following it up with also because Dortmund have different priorities to sort. That means let's see who we can sign before we start offloading, potential bench players who can add something. So they're going to wait. They're going to see if they can sign their goal. People who they're planning on signing. If they can't, they'll keep Gio. If they can, then those final couple weeks they're just going to be like, all right, we'll take $8 million from Marseille. Okay, why not?
But we do know this much, based on German papers. The board wants the new coach to get back to focusing on developing young players that they can sell down the road. If that means Adeyemi, Reyna, that's what they want. They want to develop players that they bought for a handful of coins into multi-million-dollar players. And at one point, they had Reyna, his transfer market, all the way up to $40 million. That's back when he was playing with Holland at Dortmund.
Hindsight's always 20/20, man. If they could have predicted that injury, they would have sold him immediately.
Mukoko, that's another good one. So, or they just give up and say, you know what, we'll sell him for $8, $9, $10 million. We'll take the loss. And which is still a gain, right? It's still a gain for them because Reyna came in free. So they're going to still make $10 million. But boy, would have rather made $40 million? You bet their ass they would have. Because that's what they're used to making from their player sales.
I mean, I guess you got to look at the expense of having Gio there over the number of years and then equate that to the transfer that they're going to get from him. I mean, that's all accounting nonsense. But yes, they got him for free. They're going to sell them for 8 to 10 or whatever. That's still profit in that sense, but you still got to pay. Over the course of those years, you still paid salary. You still,
right?
Facilities, all that stuff. That's all expenditures.
Total waste. Total fucking waste. You're basically selling him at the same price most MLS teams sell their best players to Europe for. Like, that's not what you got him for. And it's not because, I mean, injuries hampered things, but he's not injured now. Did he suddenly become a total shit player since when he played with Holland and the rest of the guys and was a kind of almost regular starter? See, a total garbage player all of a sudden? I don't think so. I really don't. So this is going to be on the new manager and how the manager values Reyna, because the board is focused on making money. That's what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily sound. I mean, I feel like if the new manager really valued Reyna, there'd be something out there saying no, he's staying, et cetera, et cetera. Assuming that he wants to stay, but
they're on a tour. I don't know if the manager would say anything in preseason. He'll say something once they decide who the big boy team is, right? And they finalized it. Then people will go, well, what happened to Reyna? And then he'll say something. But I don't think he's going to say anything until then. And if he does, I'll be reading the German papers to find it. Until then, we don't know. But we do know what the board said last season and last year. We do know why the board let go of Terzic. And it wasn't necessarily because of the results only. It was the way he treated the young players on the team. So there you go. Well, according to German papers.
Sure.
Not that I know
somebody within the board.
Anyone at the board at Dortmund, because I do not. I'll make that very clear.
That hurt.